What's going on, my good people? Welcome back to another episode. Yes, you see the title. We are getting an exhaust put on the Fireblade. Yeah. If it's cars, bikes, whatever it is, get out and enjoy it. For now, just a slip-on exhaust, and that's only because rivalry that I have going on with Dude right now. When you look at his bike, he also has a slip-on on the bike to make my Honda as close in mod and setup as his Gixxer. So when we meet to do this first stock versus stock race, there will only be minor differences between the two bikes and riders, and we can actually have a good race. So I'm not going with a full system just yet, but let me introduce the exhaust that I am putting on there. And here it is, folks. So I have decided to go with the Leo Vince or Leo Vinci. I think it's Leo Vinci because it's Italian, so correct me if I'm wrong. This is the slip-on exhaust that I've decided to put on the blade for now. I did unbox the exhaust already to make sure all of my components were there. So this is not an official unboxing, but here it is. Now this is gonna get rid of that big exhaust pipe that is on the side of the bike and give it a sleeker look. I'm gonna pull out all the components and weigh it and also compare it to the stock can that is on there. So I have all of the components, all the hardware is in this bag, and the scale is weighing in. See if I can face this way. Here we go. Weighing almost 4 pounds. It is advertised as a 3-pound slip-on, so I would assume with all the hardware that would make sense. Let me go ahead and get the installation done, which I will not be going through the full installation process. I'm just going to do a few clips of me going through the changes, and then the exhaust will be installed. And then I will weigh the stock can and all the components that comes off of that. This setup is mainly for comparing with Dumongous Gixxer and the looks of the bike for now. This will be the last time you will see this bike with this big can on it. Had to relocate for a better look of the bike and the can. Mind you, this is a great can, a great exhaust. It is a titanium exhaust, but it's just not loud enough. It does open up at about 6,000 and up, but I need all the grunt I can get out of this bike. Real quick over the uninstall process. See this clamp here? Gonna have to remove this clamp and remove this bolt off of the rear foot peg, and that should shake loose the can from this point on back. We will have to get under the seat and unplug the servo motor, and that should release all of these components, these two wires here with the can, and you can just mount your slip-on right on. It's not going to be a full free-flowing exhaust because it still has the cat. I don't know if you guys see this big old belly. Okay, removing the seat, you will need a 5mm Allen key. The seat has 2 bolts on the back end. These 2 guys right here, one here, one here. And the mounting points are right here and right here. You can unscrew that, which is going to expose inside the battery box area and under the seat. So I have to find where that line is going to. So yeah, should be fun. So far on the fairings, to remove this section here, you need a 5mm Allen key and a 3mm Allen key for these 2 guys here. And then the other ones are push pins, little plastic push pins. I see one up front here, right here, and then there's one back here. Not sure if there's any under. Looks like there's one under the bike right here. There's also a push tab, a black one, similar to the other side here, that sits right here, and that should free up the fairing. Okay guys, I've been at this for a good 20 minutes now. Honda has some trickery going on with this tab in the front. That was a pain to come off. And then there's like a little lip here. It gave me a fight. Moving on to the back end. There was a push tab here, or a push bolt here. There's one on the bottom here, and then there's one under here at this point right here. So I've pushed all of them out, struggled to get them out, and this piece right here still will not come off. So it looks like there's a tab right along this point here that will not release the other side. So either the whole thing has to come off on both sides, or I gotta keep it like this in order to access this bolt here, which I don't mind. I would prefer to remove the whole fairing altogether in order to access the details here, but this is what I have to work with right now, and we're gonna move forward with the installation. What you're looking at here, this is the cat right here. We're not deleting the cat, we're simply doing a slip on and getting rid of this whole can altogether. So let me get this bolt popped off and see if I can get this pulled off. Alright, you guys, you spend enough time in the garage messing with your toys, at some point you can almost gauge what these bolt sizes are. So my guess is this is a 12mm socket or nut, and boom, it fit right on there. I'm gonna go ahead and get that screwed off, and I'm going to say this is probably an 8mm Allen key. Let's see. Yep, exactly 8mm Allen key. All right, current progress. I have more stuff to remove. So you had to remove the seat cowl to access the tail. Also had to remove this fairing, which now has some scratches on it and a couple broken tabs. Can't do an installation without broken tabs. So Honda has these little funky safety clips that were very difficult to get to, and in the process, as I tried to pop them out, the tabs broke. But lucky for me, I have 4 mounting points that will secure this fairing to access the servo motor. So the servo motor sat here like so, which led for me to remove the battery in order to access that. So now the cables are free that went to the servo motor. The plate that they provided is mounted. I just got to reverse the process and pull the can off. Hopefully that's an easy process too. And then put the fairing back on. I'm sorry, put the slip-on back on, then the fairing, and then we'll be good to go. So the more I tap into this thing, I'm realizing that the plastics under here is very cheap. As I was putting this servo motor back on, this mounting point here broke. It's not completely off, but I barely applied any pressure to it and it snapped. Like really cheap dry plastic. So hopefully it'll stay put and I don't have any issues behind it. Okay guys, made an attempt to put the exhaust on, but I will say this has to be the strangest exhaust install I've ever done. With everything mounted here, the exhaust still shakes loose. The clamp wasn't bolting down. I don't know, this slip-on became more work than I anticipated, so we're gonna get it done. So far, not a good experience with the slip-on. It's kicking my butt right now. And another thing too, a lot of these little bolts, screws, they're all different sizes, which makes it difficult to get everything mounted because I have to keep switching tools and yeah. I hope this come out right. All right, you might ask yourself, why am I not using the instructions? Well, one, the instructions are not very clear. And the way it's written in here, it appears to be a straightforward, if I could find the English instructions. It appears to be a straightforward install. Right here. There's 7 steps. And then they have a few pictures up ahead, but the pictures only shows the servo install, which I will have to go back and touch up on that again. But yeah, for now it's not a very clear and easy install. Things got a little intense yesterday. I had to step away from the bike to try and figure out how to get this clamp, and I'll explain what the issue was that I was having. But I stepped away for the day and came back in the morning to wrap up the job, and here is the finished product. This is gonna be a first start on this exhaust and a very first cold start. tell me what you think as far as sound, look, design, color option. What do you guys think of this Leo Vinci slip-on? My only gripe with the slip-on is the clamp. The clamp did not leave much room for adjustment as far as clamping it down correctly. It was too big, and once you tighten down the bolt all the way, it was still spinning. So I had other clamps here, and I kind of modified this one a little bit to make it work. So if you see this little lip right here, it goes from here to here. That's an extra spacer, I guess, that I had from one of my other clamps. I just pulled that off and put it on here to make it fit. So that's about the only issue that I had with this install, aside from me tearing stuff up in the process. But for the most part, I love the look and the sound. Just to show y'all what I was referring to, this is the piece here that I used to secure the exhaust with the clamp that they provided. I pulled it off of this one here. You see this one is missing in order for it to stay clamped down and secure. But on their clamp that they provided, it was just too loose, and I could spin around after having it all the way tightened on the exhaust. Other than that, that's pretty much my only gripe. There's nothing I can do with all the different tools. I can't do anything about that. That's a Honda thing. Oh, I almost forgot. I need to weigh this thing. We got the stock exhaust here and all of its hardware and components. Weighing about 8 pounds. In this bag, I have the rear foot pegs and bolts. I'm going to weigh this here. This is coming in at almost a pound, so about a pound. So let's say a pound shaved off with the rear foot pegs. While we're at it, guys, why not weigh the tail section that came off of the bike? This weighs 1 pound. You can see it cleaned up the tail pretty good. Exhaust is on. Good to go.